Everybody wants to be successful, and yet we all have different ideas of what that is. Finding success is the journey we embark upon to go and get what's ours. We are willing to travel down within to find our greatness buried deep inside of us, questioning society's views and flipping the script, putting our own stamp on life. We're here because our future is within our control. Finding success is how we grab hold of what is possible. The relentless pursuit of success starts here.
We are finding success, and we're here to help break that monotony of your life and help you find your own version of success. Welcome to another episode of the podcast with me, Alex.
And me, Adam. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. How was your week?
Better than last. I've been saying it's been a consistent thing. Listeners will be like really disappointed with me. Discipline, struggling with discipline. Been travelling a lot. Just come back from Spain. Disappearing to Spain again in the next day or two. Sort of not. There's zero routines. Every day is different. I think it's hitting me the most. I think that's affected me the most. What about you?
Pretty good, actually. We're fairly happy with what I've been doing. Progressing nicely, pushing on nicely, learning lessons, which is good, technology-wise, and trading side of things as well. I've done loads of backtesting on these pairs now. I've got a few left. I would say I've probably done 10 pairs now. And one of the pairs I tested yesterday was doubled my money.
Really?
Yeah, 100% return on investment. 100% ROI, guaranteed. Damn, Daniel. Yeah, it was mega. It was mega, to be fair. It was mega. So it's going well, mate. It's going well. Busy. And I'm still sort of developing the investing side of things as well. As you know before we spoke about.
We do.
Before we start.
Long game.
Long game. As in the markets are up and down everywhere at the moment, aren't they?
They're a bit everywhere. But I like to see it.
We do, but there's I was listening to, can't remember what his name was now, just like a hedge fund manager, and he was saying that they all talk rubbish sometimes. No offense to people, hedge fund managers, do apologise. He was saying stuff like you can't rely on the last 100 years of the S&P because of the next, or the recovery from COVID, the recovery from the Russian-Ukrainian war is nothing like the stock market I've ever seen. And it's quite right. The recovery the actual stock market has made is unbelievable. And the progression it's made since it's dipped as far as it did.
Considering the world is in
it's in turmoil. Yeah, you know, with prices of oil and everything fluctuating so much, it's understanding. But he was saying you can no longer bet on the S&P as a return over a 100-year period. Well, the S&P's, I think, only 5% away from its all-time high.
Okay.
After all the things that we've had, after the war, COVID, so on and so forth. We haven't seen a bear market for 12, 13, 14, 15 years or something. So there's going to be one happening.
Yeah.
But number one, when? Number two, how big? And number three, can you trust it coming back? Well, obviously you can trust it coming back. We know it's going to come back. But how many years is it going to take for it to come back?
Could we see another depression?
Yeah.
Another 10-year bear market, very little growth across the world, just a depression. Because it's almost perfectly fitting, like when we had the depression back in the 30s. So after all the wars, or after the war, everyone's just trying to get back on with life, get back into the usual 9-to-5 style working.
Yeah.
I don't know, the whole world went through something, and the whole world's just going through something now, as well as the Ukraine and Russia. That's affecting us all financially. Could we be seeing another depression coming, where everyone sort of loses faith in the system?
Yeah, we don't know, do we?
We don't know. You seen what Ray Dalio's going on about?
His changing world order.
Yeah. That's quite interesting.
Have you read the new book?
I've not read it yet.
No. I want to read it. As we know, we're part of a mentoring group. Obviously, the book club they've got going on at the moment.
Is that on there?
They one of the first books they done, was it? I didn't do it because I'm not really a book club person. I like to read books at my own sort of speed, and at the time I'm in no rush. I want to take it all in.
Yeah.
yeah, mate, pretty cool book. Pretty cool book.
I have got it on my buy list. I've not actually bought it yet. But
Is it on Audible?
No, his Principles is. I think.
But not Changing World Order.
I don't think I've seen Changing World Order yet.
Maybe we should record it.
It's a relatively.
Maybe we should Audible it.
Could do.
We just got to ask him permission, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
No,
Look
I
into
don't
it.
either.
Look into it. Branching out. Takes a few days. So I recently listened to You Can't Hurt Me on David Goggins' book
Yeah, nice.
on Audible. And they did it in a really cool way. They had David there and this man called Alex reading it. Great name. Reading the book. And Alex would read it and then he would sort of pause it after sections. And they'd do like a mini podcast, mini show, talk about that. David would go into more detail, a bit more juice, a bit more background information than what you'd get out of the book. And it was just actually it was a really good listen. Listen. I did sling it on in the plane to Spain, and I completely slept through chapter 7. So I had to go back and listen to that again. Yeah. But other than that, it was really good.
How long does it take, roughly? Obviously, we all know books are different size, different chapters, so on and so forth. How long does it take to listen to a book?
That took... It literally tells you. It tells you how many hours it is.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Okay.
It breaks every chapter down into hours. I think the average there was 1 hour 20 for a chapter in You Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins' book. And I think there was only 9 chapters. But it was really good. I'd really recommend Audible because it goes in and you got to be able to keep your mind focused. Like I did find sometimes my mind would hear something they've said and I'd put it into my own like narrative and then suddenly I'm off in my own world and just going, I'm like, whoa, bring it back. Keep on listening and pause it and then do your own floating around and thinking, get back into the game, play it again. That's the only thing I'd recommend doing. But because obviously we're reading, as soon as you're in your own mind, you stop reading, don't you, and just go off. So
Your way.
Yeah.
Do you do that when reading as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I find it annoying because it's when my brain goes the most, it gets the most excited.
Yeah.
It just goes off on one. I could read an Unshakable or anything like that, I'd learn something about investing. And I'd suddenly try and plan that into my portfolio and how I could devise it, and I don't know how I could implement it and so on and so forth. But yeah, my brain goes mad when I'm reading.
It's the same. I'm reading Anne Middleton's book at the moment. It's about positivity and negativity. It's really quite a good book.
Ant Middleton, the SAS.
Yeah, SBS actually. Get him right, boy.
SBS?
Yeah.
Special British Service.
It's not an SAS, he's an SBS, yeah. But he just talks about travelling the world and sort of, because obviously he went to jail. I'm not going to spoil the book because it was quite actually a good book, but having a negative person in the room and having that, as I spoke about before, and putting just that one person that's negative in that room can change that room's stature. And it just goes on about, different ways that he tried to make money when he come out of the SBS. It's a really good book to read. Nice, easy read. And it's about mindset. It's quite good. And about how he can keep himself positive and how he prepares himself and the things that has happened to him going from a normal person like me or you to going into celebrity. Like he can't go into a bar because people either A, want to take pictures of him, which is fine. It's not a problem. He's happy to have pictures and sign stuff. But B, because they know that he's in the military or was, they go, "Oh, you think you're hard," and then they start squaring up to him. And obviously,
when test him and
when you get 4 pints in you, they think he just wants to fight, and it's just not the case. He just wants to go and have a drink with friends. So that's why he then talks about getting into the quieter places and private clubs and stuff, and not going out in public. It's really, really strange how it all happens and how people, civilians can do that to a celebrity.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
But it's quite cool, I think. I find it quite cool. It's a good book. What are you reading at the moment? Obviously, you listen just to You Can't Hurt Me.
So I've just listened to You Can't Hurt Me, but the book I'm reading is Richard Kiyosaki, the Financial
Cash Flow Quadrant.
Cash Flow Quadrant, that's it. That's the one. Again, early days, I've only just opened it like last week. But it's really good for just keeping me in the mindset of being in control of my money. It's like amazing. Just reading the finance stuff makes you think, oh, no, I'm not going to buy that Mackey's, I'm not going to buy that Costa.
Yeah.
It just keeps you in the right mindset. It's really good.
Mega.
So I'll let you know how that goes. But also, I'm just going to listen. Next book on Audible is Dale Carnegie's, is that his name? Dale Carnegie?
Yeah, Carnegie. Yeah,
Um,
it's a bit of a weird name. Hard to pronounce. Sorry, not
Very.
weird. Just hard to pronounce.
I can't remember it totally, so I might have got it wrong. But his How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, maybe
listen to that on Audible because it's be a good listen, I think.
Yeah, you'll like that. It's a good book.
This episode, we are now almost 10 minutes in.
Sorry, been waffling.
What's this episode about?
We're gonna actually take it again to a nice, smooth, easy episode, and we're going to talk about our week in general. So when I say our week in general, I mean things that you'd write in your diary or your journal. You know, and obviously we all know that we journal on a day-to-day basis. We journal about me personally, my overall mood during the day, happy, sad, angry, whatever. Positive things. I've eliminated negativity off there. It's gone. I used to write negative things on there, deleted it, don't want to know.
How come?
I just don't want to know. Well, because I do it in my journaling in the evening. I just want to finish on a positive note. So I just think about all the positive things that have happened and only write positive things. Lessons, completely different. But personal negativity, for instance, someone being grumpy at work, I don't want to know about it. But if I've learned a lesson, if I broke something and I know how to improve, or if I'd messed up on a trade and know how to improve, I'll write that down. I don't find that negative. I find that as a lesson.
So, so if you had a negative mood at some point in there, you wouldn't write down what it was, what happened, or...
No, I'd only write down the bit that caused it.
Okay.
The problem.
Okay.
So, because I'm trying to eliminate that out my whole life, and it's mad how much it changes.
Really?
Yeah. I used to have I'm going to sound really, really weird here. I used to have quite bad swings with my mood, as we all did at some point when we're not in a good mindset and place. And now, completely different. It's a multitude of things. It's not just not writing negativity on my journal. It's just writing the problem rather than the word negativity. It's just negativity is just a bad word. I don't like it. But I don't happily write about the problems. So you've already got me on a tangent. So mood, positive thoughts in general, which is where I write my problems, bad things, if you will, and then my trading journey as well, because that's a separate part of my life.
You don't do that separately on a separate journal?
No.
Same thing?
No, same journal. Yeah. Obviously, again, I journal the trades that I take, which goes onto a spreadsheet, but there's in the how my mindset was if I was taking those trades, or how my mindset was if I was back testing, or so on and so forth.
So it's still all about mindset, really?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you want to talk us through one of the bits on your journal?
One of my days?
This week. What's your thing that we can all learn from or take something from?
There's always something that you can learn from someone, which is one thing that I learned today.
Okay.
So, for instance, there's a...
Okay, let's go. Sorry.
There is a young girl that started at work, and I know her. She's been around a fair few years, and I've known her since she was 16, and she's a very, very, very good person at what she does. And she came to me and she said, I was just teaching this person so and so and so forth about how to build something. And they weren't really listening. And I instantly, and she knows this as well, it's quite scary to think that because she's in a male-dominated environment, that person won't listen to her, even though that person's got no experience of what she's building and how she's teaching them how to do it. They don't want to know. They don't want to listen. They don't want to learn how it's happened or how to do it or what processes I need to undertake. They just want to do their way because they're older, they're dominant, they think they know what they're doing. And she's like, well, all right, you do what you want then. Fine, if you don't want to listen to me, go on, off you go. Do what you want. And he broke the thing. He broke the part. But it's just exactly the same thing when it comes to learn to invest and learn to trade. There's a person on YouTube, I'm not going to say his name. Every time I watch a YouTube video, whether it's whatever it is, mindset and so on and so forth, he always comes up in an advert. And he says, my name is, I've trained my gardener to do this and do that and do the other thing. And, come don't listen to these kids on YouTube. They don't know what they're talking about. It's uncensored and all that. But come listen to me because I'm the best. But when in fact and reality is, those kids on YouTube have probably been on the same journey as he has. And those kids on YouTube have probably been through the same thing, the same episodes, the same journey, the same problems. They've overcome the same problems. Maybe they've found it harder. Maybe they found it easier. Maybe they're in a harder position than he was. Maybe they're in an easy position than he was. So realistically, no matter what age someone is, don't write them off because they're younger than you or because they're a female. Just listen to what they have to say and then judge how you want to judge or do what you want to do. Don't just write someone off for their age or their sex. That's one big lesson that I've learned this week, because so many blokes do it. And I'm sorry, blokes, but we do. It's just natural to us because we just think that we're more of a dominant force.
Especially in stuff like engineering and mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, nah, you're rubbish, man. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny. And so she knows that my thoughts are on that, obviously, with her, because I know her capabilities quite good. And it's even with the same with people in marketing and stuff like that. You've got one main honcho person sometimes, is a male or a female dominant member. And if there's a person that below them, say she's a female at the top, and the male's below them, they instantly think that they control that person. They don't at all. She's your manager. But because it's a male-female thing, they think that, they run her. It just blows my mind.
So I've had something similar recently. It was actually this week out in Spain. I've got this elderly gentleman. He's not now. He is compared to the rest of the team. He's on the team. He's mechanical on our team, and he's sort of helping guide us through the season. He's sort of a senior mech, if you will. And he's advised, we've got this new lad on the car, needs help learning about the car. He's advised him to do something a certain way, check the ratios a certain way. And I'd do it a different way, not physically getting to them and assembling the car entirely, etc. He's advised him his way is the best way, without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. There's no other better way. You must do it this way. And I've heard this conversation go over in the background, and like just behind me, because they're right next, like the cars are all lined up next to each other. And I've just gone to myself, oh, that's not quite right. But I won't say anything because I'm not going to try and make him look worse. I'm not going to be that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to be that guy to just call him out. So I let him go, and I do my stuff my way. Of course, it's all gone very, very well, successfully. I've done the job, got it back together, fired up, mint, send it. The other boys, the other people working on the car, have had to do a lot more work than me compared to what I've just done, because of the way they've done it. They've gone arse about face and just created a lot more work for themselves. And it's because of the way they've done it. They wouldn't... He's the elder gentleman who wouldn't listen to me, a younger man, about doing it a slightly different way.
Yeah.
Because he's only ever done it that way. He doesn't know the way that I've done it, or doesn't believe in that being a better way, even though I'm just quite clearly proven to the whole group that's a better way of doing it. And I didn't want to fight him about it, but because it's just going to cause hate.
Just going to cause an argument, isn't it? Yeah.
But I struggled to get my point across without offending him and without making him feel like an idiot. Not that he should feel like an idiot, not at all.
No, yeah.
If he doesn't know the way I've done it. But I couldn't get my point across. I'm younger, I'm less experienced just because of the years I've not done in the industry like he has. And that's why I wasn't listened to. And it sort of upset me in a little way. Because it was blatantly a better way, doing it my way. But yeah, I had to deal with that this week. So it was almost role reversal from what you were talking about. It was me in the trying to explain myself, but not being able to, because I was the inexperienced one compared to the experienced person. So yeah, it's interesting. I've had to.
Do you think? So as we all know, whether it be, I'm not sure about the investing side of things, but I know obviously we're trading that. You create an edge. You work on that edge. Basically, we all know what trading is now, and if you don't, go and listen to previous episodes of the podcast where we explain it. We all know how to develop a trading edge. We all know that one strategy isn't going to fit every single person in this world, because some people are late nighters, they like to stay up late, and some people are early risers. They like to get up nice and early, so we have to work out what works for other people and what doesn't. Do you think that person that was being shown that problem, for instance, how to do something one way, do you think they'd be happy to see your way and then they pick the two? Or do you think that they'd be happy to know that he's told me to do it this way, so I'm going to do it this way? Do you think he'd accept it to be from two angles and he could decide what one works for him?
I think he would. He seems like a good bloke and like he's got an open mind.
Yeah.
So I think if I were to show him the way I've done it, I think after the way he's done it and caused him all that extra work, he'd be open to doing an easier way.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was not hoping for, but looking for. I knew that it would create a lot more work for them. So immediately they've seen I've not done that work.
Yeah.
They'll go, well, how do I do it that way? So I think they would be more than open to experimenting, yeah. just because of what they've seen. It's
The proof's in the pudding, basically.
yeah, it's a
It's
little
quite-
bit more work at the beginning, but overall picture is just
In the end, it's a lot less time. You save a lot more time.
yeah. So I think that individual would be quite open to
Because I've seen the exact same thing, whereas the other person just follows the main role.
yeah.
And even though that they're scared to put their point across, or they know that they can do it another way, they don't want to do that. So even though they can say, have you tried it this way, for instance, like you did? Well, why are you doing it like that? Why don't you just do it this way? Sometimes and they don't want to,
rock the boat.
rock the boat.
Yeah.
And so even when it's happened and they've done it, they'll just go and do it the same way again. Even though it takes them 15, 20, 30 minutes extra, they'll just keep doing that same way and just get fixed in that routine. I just find it quite weird.
Yeah, it's like they're
Not willing to learn. They're willing to learn from that one person and not take the group effort on.
closed mindset.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not willing to learn from others. Not willing to expand their own knowledge.
Yeah.
Because we all know we can learn from absolutely everybody. It's interesting.
Good topic, really. Good topic. Another thing, whilst we're on that side of things, what about you? Did you have anything to put in your journal? Obviously, you've only just said that one part. Was there anything else that you
So I've not been journaling recently just because I've been
busy?
bad
Away?
and lazy with my routine.
Yeah.
I could blame it on being busy, but in reality, I should have found the time. Should have made the time. That's my reality.
Yeah.
I was quite proud I managed to, while being away in Spain, managed to hit the gym, managed to get some exercise routines in, which helps me with my mindset massively, just with my overall how I almost perceive the world. Like, if I've worked out, I'm so much less stressed, less tense, much calmer. I'm able to see things from the point of view that I do when I'm, like we're doing this podcast, just from a better point of view. So that was a really good point, but a negative point from this week.
Not quite. It doesn't have to be negative. It can be positive. For instance, going to the gym and how that affects you.
Well, let's talk about it then.
Because I know for well that one of the things that makes me happy is going to the gym.
For sure. So, okay, we'll talk about that. I was in Spain, lovely hotel, and there is a gym at this hotel we had access to, and it was a 24-hour gym. We could go whenever we wanted, just get the key from downstairs, send it. I don't tend to like going when we're away because we work such long hours. It seems counterproductive to eat into my own sleep to then go and work out. So just get less sleep to work even longer, and it's just it seems counterproductive on some days. But anyway, I decided to go because we had some time off in the evenings. We finished 7 p.m. sort of time, so there's plenty of time to get working, get some gym working, all that sort of stuff. So to be fair, it was 2 lads on the team that not forced me, but encouraged me to come. And I went with them, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a pain. It's not my normal gym. I can't throw the big heavy weights around like I like to. There's not rubber matting everywhere. It's a corporate. It's a techno.
It's
gym.
a commercial gym.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a very pretty, immaculate wooden floor. You make a little bit of noise, and it echoes through the thing because it's only a small little room. But anyway, so I go there and I just sit on the bike for 10 minutes, just start spinning my legs, and I'm like, oh, it's starting to hurt. And I remember that feeling like I quite like this. I'm doing something. So I crank it up and I go for half an hour. Thinking in my head the whole time, I'm like, my quads are on fire on this bike. I'm absolutely loving it. And in my head, I'm like, right, I could do something. I could do arms off, so I could do something else. And anyway, I finished on the bike, and the boys have finished up, and we all just decide to go. We leave the gym and go to bed. But laying in that bed, or just jumping in the shower after that, I felt so good.
Yeah.
I just done half an hour of sweating my ass off. I'm absolutely knackered. Legs are got a mega pump. It just felt amazing, and it realised that actually I need to do this more often because I'm much happier going to bed, get a much better night's sleep, wake up, have a good brekkie, and the day starts so much better the next day. It like carries over. It's like a domino effect. Because I did that, everything else just was better.
Yeah.
So I did it again the next day, did a bit more of a longer workout, did some other like muscle groups, etc., not just cardio, and I just same again. The feeling of satisfaction. I've worked. I know I've worked the normal job, but I've worked for me personally.
Yeah, your own personal
I've done,
progression.
Yeah, I've done something for me. I've pushed myself past where I didn't want to do it. Like leaving work, you're knackered, you're drained, you're struggling you're dirty, you don't want to do anything. But I just went for it because I knew that feeling in the shower and lying in bed, like feeling like I've done something, just was great. So yeah, I know I need to do that more often.
But just the that very point there is that sometimes you don't want to go because you're going to lose sleep. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose sleep for making a gain on yourself. You're going to lose sleep for putting effort in on your own personal journey. Now, some people will say, well, these Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk sleep 7 hours a day and 10 hours a day and 12 hours a day, and that's fine. But people that are not telling them how to do it here, but not necessarily in that position to sleep 12 hours a day, has to push themselves a little bit for the return that potentially can come. So losing half an hour's sleep can actually give you a massive gain because you've slept better, number one. You've progressed in yourself, number two. You're feeling better in yourself, number three. And overall, you're just going to be in a happier mood. And when you're in a happier mood, your brain's in a better position. So when you're in a better position, what do? Well, number one, you go and work harder. Number two, it's easy to go and do more work. And number three, you're happy to go back to the gym. So just that extra half an hour that you've lost in sleep, granted, you've lost half an hour's sleep, that's fine. We can deal with that. We can survive. But has made up for all those potential gains in your brain, your way you feel, the body, the ache, everything that comes with it is just such a bigger gain. It outweighs the pros and cons. So to push yourself as a mental sort of note, listening to, You Can't Hurt Me type of book, and saying, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Don't moan about it. Don't say, I'm going to lose 25 minutes of sleep here. I'm going to be tired tomorrow. Shut up. Just get on with it. And just that little lesson in itself can throw you forward.
It's
no end.
Spot on. It's that. Yeah, it's that juggle between half an hour extra sleep or half an hour less sleep, but that better feeling, the domino effect that has getting half an hour less sleep, but could be beneficial, like or not endlessly, but infinitely better than what it would be just getting an extra half an hour sleep.
Yeah.
Because chances are, a bit of an idiot, I'll lay on my phone for that extra half hour, and I've lost the sleep anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And going back to, just being disciplined with yourself, be like, go and do it. When I was on the bike, I was thinking to myself, I was actually listening to the book on the bike. I wasn't listening to music, I listened to the book, which helped spur me on at certain times. But Jocko Willink says about when he's doing something that sucks, he goes, oh, this sucks. As soon as he says it in his head, he's like, that's good. I like that. I need to be here. I need to be uncomfortable. This is where I need to be. And it was similar to me on the bike. My quads were burning at like the halfway mark. Like, damn, this hurts a lot. But you just say to yourself, I'm enjoying this. This is what it's going to be like this for another 20 minutes, another 15 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
And you just plow through it. And at the end, you're just like, I can't believe I did that. It's not an amazing feat. It's nothing to celebrate. But every time you just knock down that wall of going, oh, this sucks, and enjoying it, or just pushing yourself, it's pushing yourself to do something you didn't want to do. Having that discipline is actually really rewarding.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The gain that you're going to make and the reward that comes with it and the smile that stays in your face the rest of the day outweighs half an hour's sleep.
Exactly. And that dominoed. So the first night I did it, it was sort of motivation to do it again the second night.
Yeah.
And because I did it the second night, I'd have done it the third if we were staying and we had access to the gym. Because, I don't know, it snowballs. Just like, how anything does. You build momentum and it's just powerful.
Paying credit cards off and learning to invest, learning to trade, listening to this podcast. You will start one episode, you want to listen to more because they're just amazing. It's just everything like that. It can just snowball.
It does.
And just doing that one habit and creating that one habit just makes you feel 10 times better. Then just go and do it. Don't say, I want that extra half an hour sleep.
Yeah. And that's when I feel like motivation is, you need to learn to operate without motivation.
100%.
Because I wasn't motivated to go to the gym both nights that night. I really didn't want to. But obviously the boys helped me out massively and got me there the first night. And the second night it wasn't motivation, it was me just hunting that feeling of
the feeling of being
satisfaction.
Yeah.
Which is
being satisfied.
It took discipline again on the bike to push for that 30 minutes, and do the other bits of workouts afterwards. But yeah, just it's all about discipline, I would say, long term than it is motivation. So don't worry if you're not motivated to do anything.
I think that's a good place to end.
Copy that.
It's mega. So thanks for listening, guys. As I said, just a nice, easy, simple listening episode from a lesson that Butson learnt to a lesson that I learnt. So just pay attention to who's around you. You can learn anything from anyone, whether it's yourself and whether it's another person. So if you haven't already, Go and give us a follow. All the links will be in the description box down below. Again, we are recording this one. This will be on YouTube, so you can see our pretty faces and where we are and what we do and how we look. Again, share this podcast. You know, we're here to help you. Just by sharing this podcast, you can help someone else out. If anyone's in a bad position, if you want any help, reach out to us, DM us. We're here for you, and we can be here for everyone. So thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one. See you later.
Success is available for everybody, so why should you settle for that?